Well, we're certainly hoping for good weather tonight because it's a very special event, something that doesn't happen in many decades, a supermoon total eclipse. So here to explain what exactly that means and where you can see it tonight is Brian Murphy. He's the director of Holcomb Observatory and Planetarium. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us what makes this so special. We see supermoons once every couple of years, but this is really unique.
Well, what makes this unique is that, one, we have a lunar eclipse occurring during supermoon. We do have each one of those every few years, but having them almost at the same identical time, that's what makes it special. The moon is going to appear a bit larger, but it's also going to be totally eclipsed.
And if you wouldn't mind explaining to us what exactly a supermoon is.
Supermoon is when the moon is closest to the Earth. It's in an elliptical orbit, so it varies its distance. So it's just random what phase it is when that occurs. It just so happens it's occurring at the full phase at this point, and we have the totally eclipsed moon. So therefore it appears larger than normal because it's closer to the Earth.
And that makes this event so special. Where in the sky will we see it?
If you look in the southeast, it should be obvious to you. You see the moon roughly halfway up in the sky, and it'll drift toward the west as the night goes on.
Now we're obviously hoping still for that fantastic weather, and we should be able to see it. This is going to be the scene of the whole thing. Right.
We're going to have numerous small telescopes out here on the lawn, a few of them looking at the moon, but we're also going to have another one looking at other objects. So if people get bored with the moon, they can look at, say, Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, or a double star or a star cluster.
How many folks are you expecting?
We have no idea. So part of it will depend on the weather, obviously, but we think it'll be quite an experience for people out here because we're also going to be running planetarium shows.
Wow. Very neat. And folks might have to stay up a little late to get here.
Right. The eclipse will start just after 9 o'clock. The peak will be just before 11, and the totality will end around 11:23 or so.
Wow. So just enough time to maybe pop in, see it, and really experience something that doesn't happen very often.
Exactly.
What do you think draws people to this kind of activity? I mean, they could go watch a movie, they could stay at home, but this is really special.
Well, these events, first of all, are rare. And the other thing is, like I always tell people, you can always travel to see, for instance, Europe, things like that, but you can actually look through a telescope and see Saturn, for instance, something that the photons from that have traveled billions of miles to reach your eye.
Do you anticipate this will attract folks who maybe aren't necessarily always into science?
Yeah, I mean, events like this always attract people. Many people don't realize we're open most weekends also, and they can come over here, but this is an event that people come over here for, see something special, and it gives them a little education also on astronomy, because we'll have numerous people here also.
All right, Brian, thank you so much for joining us again. Fingers crossed for that perfect weather for the supermoon total eclipse. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you.
And here, a look at the moon from overnight. Pretty bright there. One of our producers said he could have probably driven in without his headlights on today. Something, of course, we don't condone. He's doing just fine. Okay, so how clear will the skies be tonight for the eclipse? Hopefully clear, but Kelly's on the lookout for maybe some clouds, right?
Well, earlier this morning we did have the clouds clear out some early this morning, but they've already filtered back in. Although in some of our north central viewing area, we still have some mostly clear skies.